friends. Thanks for watching this video. My name is Caitie Thompson. I'm a multi-instrumentalist, music producer, and singer-songwriter, and I am here on behalf of Music Over Miles to teach you about music production. So in today's course, we're going to be talking about different miking techniques for your acoustic guitar, but also we'll be talking about how you can mic your vocals. Let's get into it. Friends, so check this out. I have one of my Rode NT5s placed directly at the sound hole of my Taylor GS Mini. This is a pretty basic way to start figuring out what miking technique is going to work best for your specific instrument. I'm going to be completely honest with you, this miking technique for this instrument actually doesn't work that well, but this is a good starting point. So if you find that you put your mic directly at the sound hole, probably about 4 or 5 inches away from the strings. You have to give yourself enough room for strumming, obviously. If you find that maybe you're getting a little bit too much low-end response or your guitar sounds a little bit muddy, you're going to want to move the microphone towards the bridge and the saddle, right? Maybe around in this area, right at the edge of the sound hole. And what this will do is it will bring out all of those higher end transient sounds, or those higher frequencies and overtones. But just be careful, you don't want to go too far towards the bridge, or else then the guitar is going to sound super, super thin. But if you find that you're getting the opposite, where maybe the guitar already sounds too thin and you need to beef it up a little bit, you want to get some of those warmer sounds, then you want to start to move it towards the fretboard here, towards the neck, okay? And that should give you a decent amount of low end. But also too, you may want to experiment with how close you get to the guitar, and maybe if you get too close, you could get a little too much bass response, so then you need to bring it back. So this is what I suggest. Set it up in the middle first, record a few chords, maybe, get warmed up a little bit, just record yourself warming up, and then go back and listen and think to yourself, okay, what kind of guitar tone am I going for? Do I want it to have a little bit of a thinner sound? Do I want it to have a beefier sound with a little bit more bass response? These are questions that you need to start asking yourself as you try to record your song. So, hope that helps. Let's talk about some other options that you can use as far as miking techniques. And so this next miking technique that I want to talk to you about, this is what we call XY, okay? And I like this technique because you don't have to worry necessarily about getting something that's called phase cancellation. Phase cancellation is when you have two signals of the same strength that actually cancel each other out, and what happens is it brings down the overall volume of those signals. So with this particular miking technique, you do not have to worry about that. And what's cool is, take a look at the direction of each of these microphones. I have a microphone that's going here towards the bassier side of where the frequencies will come out of this guitar, right towards the neck. And then I've got a microphone that's pointing here towards the brighter side of the frequency spectrum of this guitar. So I'm actually getting the best of both worlds here, because I'm going to be able to pick up all of those beautiful low-end sounds out of this area and all of those really bright shimmery sounds out of this area. So if you have two microphones that are similar in size, it doesn't work so well if your microphones are different sizes. So that's why I like using the Rode NT5s, because they're the same and they're really easy to move around the room. So if you get a chance to actually use a pair of these or use something that's similar to these, I think Audio-Technica actually makes a condenser microphone that looks pretty close to these guys, and I know Shure does too. So if you can get your hands on some condenser microphones that are like these two, you can really capture some awesome sounds out of your guitar. Now remember what I was saying before, that this particular guitar, because it's a very small guitar, it's the Taylor GS Mini, it doesn't have as much of a low end response as I would typically like. So I might end up cranking up the volume on this microphone and just using this microphone for a little bit of shimmer quality. So when you're mixing in the box, boosting your low end microphone and then just kind of slightly bringing up the volume on your high end microphone here is really going to give you a neat balance. So that's something to play with as you are starting to learn how to balance your tracks and learn what mixing really entails. But I can tell you right now, I've never had this particular miking pattern fail me. And even if you want to, if you have more mics in your arsenal, what you could also do is set up another condenser microphone back here and capture some room sound, which is also a neat way to kind of add some color to your mix. So I hope this helps. Let's move on. Hey everybody, so let's recap what we learned today. We talked about acoustic guitar miking techniques. 1, where you point the microphone directly at the sound hole. 2, the XY technique, where you take 2 microphones and point them at the sound hole. And then we also discussed vocal miking techniques. Now, something that I really want to stress to you is that in one of my previous videos, I talked about polar patterns. Polar patterns are the way that your microphone absorbs all of the sound that's going on around it. So for this particular microphone, this is a unidirectional microphone or a cardioid directional type of microphone. So what that means is it's only going to pick up essentially what's in front of it and just a little bit behind it, not much. So it's really important to know this, because if you don't know how your microphone picks up sound, how are you supposed to know what kind of tones you're going to get out of it? So very important. Make sure you get your polar patterns memorized and experiment a lot when you're miking your acoustic guitar. Remember, moving the microphone back and forth can actually really change the kind of sound that you get from your guitar. So, good luck. Start practicing. Have fun. Thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate you being a part of it with me.